Hey, this your girl Chelsea with the Melanin University. You can reach me at Twitter and Instagram at Rockin'Them Today we're back with a hot new topic, back in session, and of course I have my wonderful co-host with me.
Hey, it's your boy, Just Malc, Just_Malc_.
It's your girl Cassie _Cassie_.
It's your girl Keisha at Godiva Kiki on IG and Twitter.
And we are back in session today with a hot new topic. And today's topic is single parents, as well as dating people with children. So we're going to start off today. I do have a question for my ladies here, Cassie and Keisha. You guys are our single parents of our group. First question is, how do you feel that dating, being a single parent has affected your children?
I would say with mine, I cannot say affected them in a negative way, but I will say that my kids are very vocal about the people that I choose to date. I had one specific person where they was like, every time he comes over, he eats our snacks, or I'm not comfortable when he's around, or he doesn't ever bring any food. And that was like an eye-opener for me. I was like, because I'm comfortable with somebody that my kids are not comfortable with, or they don't believe that they're getting treated the way that they should be treated, or acknowledged the way they should be acknowledged. So I won't say it, I don't know, I don't think it affected them negatively, but they made sure they were vocal. Those snacks was not to be touched no more.
Yeah, we don't need Tyrone coming over and eating all my snacks. Like, Mom, like, he over here taking up space and opportunity. I can't concentrate.
Taking up everything.
And don't touch the video game.
Oh,
that's
no.
annoying.
You can't come over and touch the video game and the snacks. Like, you're not even...
Well, I mean, I do like the fact that, they are vocal because, clearly you've created a space where your kids are comfortable enough to express themselves.
Oh, too comfortable.
So, no, a lot of people don't have that, so I find that very interesting.
Yeah, I haven't had that experience with my youngest yet. He hasn't met anybody, but, when Christian was younger, he did meet some people. And, Christian is vocal. He will let you know, and he will be like, Mama, who is this man? And Christian won't have anything to do with him. He'll just sit there and actually sit there and just stare at them until they leave or they tell me they feel uncomfortable. Christian does not play. Like, he has nothing like, Christian is that child you have to bribe to kind of, he don't want no parts of nobody unless you got something for him.
Oh, somebody gonna approach you one day and he gonna be like, so what you want with my mama?
He already did that.
Oh.
Like, why are you here? Like, Christian, he's already done that. He don't want it.
So with the kids, well, I don't know how deep this will go, but with the kids, how do you guys handle when the children are wanting to spend time with their other parent?
Ooh. So for me, I have two baby daddies. Mama was not let me don't judge me.
No judgment.
Nah, but one of them's in the state of Texas and one of them's here locally, but with one of them being in Texas, the kids want to see him all the time. Now with that, I'm willing to work with that situation, meet halfway. Normally if he's here, he'd probably see them every day, honestly, but being that he's in Texas, it's not the same. So with that being a distance, I would say I work with him on maybe meeting halfway to make sure he sees the kids. But I would say he talks to them every day, visually, calls, which is good. The other one,
Is that the one locally?
yeah. If I could say what I want to say, but let me not.
We will leave
digress.
that on that.
I digress.
Leave that on that.
Well, with that said, so we have another touching. How do you guys feel about child support? If it is either or, because we have some women that can be on child support, and we have some men that are on child support. Do you feel that it is necessary? And then if it is, when is it necessary?
I feel like if you are doing for the child without me having to ask you or beg you or anything, we're good. I don't have to put you on child support. I don't want to go up there to the people on you. Like, yes, I said the people. I don't want to have to go there either.
The people.
So just as long as there's
So as long as they like we have communication and like we're agreed upon, what you're gonna do and what you can do, I'm okay with that. As long as we have reached an agreement. You got to do for your kids.
I think that's reasonable. That's about similar with my situation with my oldest two. I told them if you're in town and you're helping me as far as like picking them up from school, getting them clothes, shoes, just doing for them in general, keeping them on the weekends, and that gives me free time, don't worry about it. But being that I'm here full time with my kids right now, I need the money. I need it.
Yeah.
Coins. You don't want to do it, then send it. And then I figure if it's vice versa, if they go out there to him, I'm not paying no child support, but he can, claim the kids for taxes. I mean, I think that's only right that if he's going to keep them for, like a whole year, it's only right that he claim the benefits of keeping them for a whole year.
See,
that's very fair.
I think that's fair.
Because I feel like I'm not, of course, a parent, but I'm a product of a single parent household. So, like, I feel like as long as there's communication between both parents, then that's cool. I do, however, feel like, in a way, for men, child support is a hell of a scam because a lot of men use that as to, like, if they're only awarded to pay, $200, $300 out of their paycheck, they think that's all that they got to do.
Yes.
But kids still need time,
exactly.
attention, support with activities.
Because, I really do feel like a lot of people really put their, like, child's well-being on a dollar amount.
And it's no dollar
There
amount
shouldn't
for
be
your
a dollar
child.
amount.
Right.
On the other end, you do have some people who are upset about how the relationship ended and will go and put someone on child support.
True.
No matter if the dad is doing for like the dad could be doing for the child and they'll still go put them on child support and they get mad when they get a lesser amount than what the dad was already giving them.
Yeah.
Yes. Or they end up in jail because they can't. I feel like we all know that in this day and age, you have to have at least a 2-income household to survive,
Yeah.
depending on where you live and the price of living.
Yeah.
But that's most people. If the father or mother is doing what they should be doing, but you still go ahead and put them on child support, knowing that they're not financially stable to take care of themselves even, what are you doing? You're basically just taking your child away from the parent because eventually they're going to be put in jail.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I will say my second one, he doesn't even work or even attempt to try to see our baby boy. But it doesn't bother me because I'm like, maybe one day he'll get his act together. And then, honestly, that's one of those situations where I feel like it's forcing my hand to want to go, take out child support when it comes to him. And I feel like, if you force my hand into it, then I have no choice but to. But if you have you just have some that I feel like if they want to do right, they will. And if they don't, I feel like they won't.
That's good.
But I do agree with you. I think you should allow either parent to get financially stable before just, pushing for X, Y, and Z.
Right, because I have seen quite a few men who have been put on child support, and it takes like 60% of their check, and I just look at it and I'm like, ooh, kids, expensive.
Yeah, because it makes you be like, you know what? It makes you really think about who you settle down and have children with, and like, it brings into a lot.
It is.
Another question I did have is, if you feel that the partner that you did choose to have children with, if they're toxic in any way, how do you feel, or how do you go about letting your child spend quality time, or is there a scare that they may pick up some of their parents' generational curses? Because we know that we all have a tendency to be either like our mothers or fathers, or even both at a time.
I believe those kids are going to pick it up regardless of if you let them see that other parent or not. So honestly,
I agree.
You better off just letting them go to that other parent, go spend time. Something will click there between that other parent and the kids that, hey, something's not right or something. I think we all feel that for ourselves. Like, even I find myself, because, I curse at my kids. I love them to death and I do anything for them, but I catch myself cursing sometimes. I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that to them. And now I'm about to be listening to them talk to each other like that, or maybe even possibly talk to somebody else like that. I'm like, So I consider, that's my toxic trait. I feel like I let some things slip out my mouth that I shouldn't.
But at least you're woman enough to stand up and be like, that's wrong.
Yeah,
I tell myself to fix it and stuff like that.
I agree with that because my mouth can get foul at times. I ain't gonna lie.
Sometimes some kids be reaching into your inner parts and being like, you really trying to drag this out.
Especially if you have to take off work because they've been misbehaving at school. Ooh. So that's taking money out your pocket, and they're gonna want, and then they have the nerve to ask you for something while you in the car. Mouth got really filthy that day.
I pray I get that patience one day. I pray I get it. Because, like, with that whole situation, what bothers me, what I could speak to from, like, my experience with my parents, to a degree, I felt like my parents, well, on my dad's side, like, the kids were used as kind of like a pawn.
Yes.
Within how to get back at one another, in a sense. So, like, with my mom, she had to, fight my dad for child support and stuff like that. But he wouldn't take care of, like, the needs that we would have. But, like, when we would go and see him every other week or whatever on the weekend, he's buying us iPods and Xboxes. And then we get home, and then my mom sees all this stuff, and she's like, why are you buying that? So I feel like sometimes things like that, they really hurt relationships because people end up making one parent look like the bad guy.
Right. And I will say my kid's dad, he's kind of, the first two, he's kind of like that. He has all the fun with the kids, and I'm labeled as the mean parent because they have to clean up, they have chores, they have to do homework, but he's the fun parent. They go play, water guns, tear up the house. Apparently they try to tear up mine. That's where me and my kids have the issue at.
Now, do you believe in asking, okay, so let's say the person you have children with, you have them on child support, they have you on child support, either vice versa, and they're calling you to ask for a bill that you either already paid child support for, or would you call that other person and ask for any type of bill money or anything that's unrelated to your child? Or if I'm going to ask you for money, even though you're paying child support, does it have to be related to the child? Do you feel comfortable loaning that money out if it was vice versa?
I'm sorry, if you ask me for money and we have kids together, it better be related towards the child. Like, I'm not paying your cell phone, but what do I need to do that for?
And don't be married or don't have a
girlfriend and have a significant
or
other
a significant
as well.
other, boyfriend. Yeah, nah.
You better hit them with a cash out request. Because no, not me.
I think we done covered a lot with single parents. And now
the next part.
Let's talk about how it is to date people with children. Ooh. I'm gonna let you guys. DeKeisha and Cassie actually asked me and Malcolm, because at this table, me and Malcolm are the only ones that do not have children, but we've also dated people with children.
So, how do y'all feel dating someone who has children and they have to co-parent with a certain person that you would consider toxic?
Okay, well, I feel as though that that's the whole point, if the relationship is toxic or not. Because I feel as though I don't really have an issue with dating someone who has kids. But in regards to this other significant other, ex, whoever they are, I feel as though if you don't have clear and set boundaries, that's going to cause issues with everybody's relationship. The kids' relationship, my relationship with the kids, my relationship with the person. So if I see that, then I, of course, would address it. But if the person that I'm dating is not willing to, set boundaries, then that's a situation I can't be in.
I agree. There has to be boundaries.
Well, as for me, with men that I choose to be with that have children, especially if they have someone that is toxic, I feel it's always in my duty to basically come from an understanding approach on both sides, because that also is a woman. Like, this is her child. Like, I feel like going into relationships, I always knew that there may be some hiccups. I've always wanted to be either the helping hand in between. So if you guys are toxic with each other and you guys cannot co-parent, maybe there's a way that I can help assist you guys in that. Not fully coming in, and taking over, but just helping you guys be better parents for that child. And, me contributing that.
Right.
For instance, the last relationship that I was in, I took part in introducing myself to the mother of my boyfriend's child. And we actually have a great relationship, still do. And I feel like that was important because a lot of times when my dad was dating women, or vice versa with my mom dating someone else other than each other, it's like, as a child, I felt like they were only there for my parent. They never paid attention to me, or some kind of just were that fakeness that was there. And I never wanted to come off that way to any other child. I wanted to be very transparent, let them know that I was there. Not try to force myself, but just be
so home with the whole environment.
I mean, make sure that, hey, my presence is known. I'm here, and I'm not coming in trying to mess up.
Yeah, I don't want to be your mom.
Right.
Of course, if you want to call me mom, I'm down with it.
So at what point...
Get tricky.
Stepmom. Stepmom, that's my mom. Yeah. How Sam calls you my dukes.
Yeah.
There you go.
So at what point, because I think this is very interesting, at what point do you, introduce yourself or have your significant other introduce you to their kids?
When they feel comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like it's only when they feel comfortable because they know their child.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And my thing is, I feel like you have to meet the other parent first before you meet the kids. I'm sorry. You have
I
to.
completely agree.
What happens if it's not able to? Well,
I
completely agree with that. I feel as though that you definitely, there should... Because if you're coming into a situation where it's a co-parenting situation, that means all three of you are going to be involved in this child's life.
Right.
Yes.
I feel like there needs to be clear rules, boundaries, what can happen, what can't happen before even involving yourself with that child.
Yes.
I agree, because I had to actually reach out to my oldest kid's dad's wife, and I told her, I was like, I'm not coming to interrupt, but I want to know who my kids will be around.
And I feel like you shouldn't have had to do that. I feel like she should have had to actually come to you and introduce. I feel like that's the most respectful way.
Well, I mean, for me...
I guess any reach is kind of
Yeah, I'm just I understand that. I mean, it's nice to have the other person reach, but sometimes that can be intimidating. Mm-hmm. So I feel as though as long as one of the three individuals is initiating this, then I feel that that's cool. Okay. But if it is the other person or, us coming in, that's cool, respectable, but I feel like somebody needs to do it.
I know. As long as it's before you meet the kids.
Exactly.
It has to be before that. Because me personally, I'm be like, well, who is this person? Who are they talking about that they met? Like, who's been around my kids?
Yes.
I don't know this person. I don't know their intentions being around my child. So I have to meet them first. I want to kind of feel them out first.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I have another question for y'all, especially while dating single parents. So let's just say single parent either falls behind on some bills, can't pay child support, or either, lost their job. Children still need to be provided for. Right. Do you, as a person that's dating that person or even married to them, do you step in and fill the shoes, or do you kind of let them figure that out and work that out with their child's other parent? How do y'all feel about? Because some people do, some people don't. But whatever your purpose is, that's.
I feel as though me being the person dating the other person. Well, I guess it depends on who lost the job. So, are we saying that the ex-parent, well, the other parent is the one?
The person you're dating lost
the person
their
I'm
job
dating.
or either
Okay,
fell
okay.
behind on some bills.
Well, it all depends on, I guess, our relationship. If, we've been in a serious relationship for a long time, you lose your job, and we're living together, then, of course, I'm going to help out. Like,
right.
We're just going to have to talk about and discuss, like, exactly how much I'm going to help out. But I don't think, like, you should just leave somebody to, like, flounder.
No, I don't believe so. So if I'm dating you, if we're dating, number one is going to depend on how invested in our relationship that we are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If I have even met your kids yet, because some men will sit here and try to pull out, I need $50 for my child to go to school. Well, I haven't even met the child yet. I don't know where this money going.
I don't even know their name.
Yeah, I don't even know their name. Like, it depends on how invested we are.
Who is LaShawn and why are they sending me a cash out?
That's my child. But, like, if we're married, then I feel like, yes, I've already met your child. I understand that you're going, like, this is going to be affecting them as well as our household. So, yes, I'm going to do my best. If I'm married to you, 9 times out of 10, I'm probably helping you with your child support payments. I mean, it's kind of like, it's a two, like I said, it takes two now to incomes to survive.
Yeah.
Depending on what positions that we both hold, like, if we have any type of
and not even
mortgage.
Right. That's what I was about to say.
Say.
Not even if you're married or anything. Sometimes you just live together. Like, a lot of people live together now.
Yeah.
And if we live together, whether your child is there or not, I still have to help if you have lost your job or you lost your way or something like that.
So you're still taking on some type of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not directly paying a child, you're still having to pick up on bills.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to directly pay child support or directly say, "Hey, baby mama, like I'm giving you this money for him or whatever." Right. But I will make sure that I'm taking care of like stuff at the house, so you have the freedom and room to make
work
whatever
out something.
Arrangements.
Yeah.
I can dig that. I like that. Yeah. Because believe it or not, some man could come to me with 5 kids, and I'm like, "Hey, bring them on over. Let's all go to the park."
Girl, you're gonna have a tribe.
Lord. See, we don't need no tribe.
Right?
Mm-hmm. I just feel like there just has to be a lot of communication in any aspect, whether being like a single parent and communicating or co-parenting with your other partner or previous partner. Yeah. And as well as being a single person dating people with children.
So what are some absolute boundaries for y'all that y'all have learned need to exist when you're in a relationship with somebody with kids? As far as those boundaries between their ex and, them when it pertains to you dating them?
Boundary, like, I feel like, as far as, like, the mother of your child, like, I feel like just as long as there's respect coming from both ends, I'm cool with it. Like, I like the idea of blended families because I come from a blended family. Right. So I like to be, and then not toxic. It has to be drama free because I don't want to be anywhere in a situation where it's too toxic. It's too toxic for the child. It's not good at all for anyone. Like, it just has to flow. As well as boundaries. Like, I know a lot of people don't understand that single parents have a lot of time that they need to spend with their children. And if you're not willing to sacrifice some of your time to either help out or just realize that, you can't be first.
Right.
I prefer them to put their child first in all manners. Like, I don't like people that put their relationships on the pedestal and then let their relationship with their children just wither.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Because I experienced that with my dad. My dad was when he's in a relationship, he's in a relationship. Mm-hmm. So he would forget about everything else around. So I definitely agree with that. I know you guys were talking about blended families. So how do you guys handle, like, if you as a single parent, you're dating another single parent, let's say you've been together for a while, like, how do you handle, like, the meeting of the kids?
Oh yeah.
I personally, I like to let things flow. I like organic. I like it to just come as it is. I like to see how people's kids are too.
Cassie's like,
Okay, but I like to do the casual. Hey, let's meet up at the park.
okay,
See how our kids play together.
yeah.
If that works, okay, maybe we could do, dinner. But, I gotta see how they play at the park first, because if your kid push my kid, or my kid push your kid, we're gonna see how it really going there.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that my dad dated, I didn't too much care for their kids. I was just sitting here like, look, if they don't play nice or they disrespectful, I'm honestly glad that my dad is now married to someone that, I feel like is appropriate. And we talk, and her kids, we are in a good setting. I feel like I accept them as my, I was about to say alternate brothers and sisters, but we're all a conjoined, blended family.
Yeah,
and I feel like we all were raised differently, so just as long as we have respect for each other, it works. But with children, it's difficult because there's a lot of attitudes and personal feelings. Yes, especially if the kids are older.
And then, but I figure if siblings fight amongst themselves, I still find that even with having blended siblings to step in, sometimes there's going to be a disagreement you just cannot stop in some cases, because all those personalities, they're just different.
Yeah.
So maybe from time to time you might get that, oh, well, you told me I could borrow your shirt. No, I didn't. Put my shirt back, or shoes, because those are those simple.
This actually just went into something that I find very interesting, because I had an issue with this as a kid. I don't know. I think me and Cassie in the same place. So, how do you handle a situation if there is a disagreement and it's between the kids, but your child is in the wrong?
So if my child was in the wrong, I let my kids know when they're in the wrong. They know I don't go for that. Don't disrespect nobody. Don't treat nobody wrong. I discipline mine. Now, I don't think I would. Yeah, somebody could probably tell me I got the green light to discipline their child, and I'm probably not. I'm going to just be like, hey,
I
you're
think
not
I
supposed to do that.
I would forever be scared to touch somebody else's child.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Because you don't know how they're going to react.
Yeah, I can't do it.
My best thing is don't do it, because you got the other parent on the. Don't do it. Don't touch their child.
Just until we stand in the corner.
Don't touch their child.
I could talk to you all day long, but
don't touch their child. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, well, let me go ahead and say my piece. If you give me permission and we're dating and your child does something and I've gotten permission from both parents, I'm whooping ass. I'm not giving them a hard ass whooping that I give my own child, but I'm gonna make sure usually I've never had to hit somebody else's child. I've always had scaring them with the idea of it is more likely my way, but I've never. But if they do something they done took my laptop and dumped it in the pool or something, or
stolen your credit card.
Oh no, I'm depending on your age. Oh yeah, you gonna get a spanking.
What if they're a teenager?
I'm gonna see if you're a teenager. I'm not, because if you're 13 or 14. Your parent, I'm gonna tell you off. I'll sit there and verbally say, look, you already know that that's not right. But I'm going to let your parent handle you as disciplining physically if that's what they want to do.
What if it's a situation to where the parent absolutely refuses to handle the situation?
Then me and the parent going to have a conversation. Okay. Because I shouldn't be the one sitting here telling you how to parent. I understand no one knows how to be a parent. You only go off life experiences, what you were raised, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
But you're not going to sit here if I clearly see that there's an issue that needs to be handled with your child, we're going to sit down and have an actual conversation about it and talk about why you're not handling it. Yeah. There's always a certain way to go by it. And I feel that's one of the reasons, communication is very important. Because a lot of people, it's hard talking to someone about their children kids. Because sometimes they make take it in because
They
I don't
take
like
it-
it
they
turned
say,
around.
yeah,
Like,
they-
you don't
yeah,
have a
yeah.
child.
Like, that's my child. Who are you telling me about
Yes.
my child?
Right,
Yes.
right,
So when you
right.
tell me about my child, you don't have children, so you don't know how to be a parent.
Woo!
I'm
And
not
you know
gonna
what? That's the
lie. I've
response
been
that I
guilty of
don't
that.
want to deal with because once you tell me, oh, well, you don't have kids, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's
Okay.
when it's time to go.
That's when it's time to go. Because that means that you're not willing to listen or communicate about what we can do better in raising your child to sit there and make sure that this doesn't happen again. You're just
Right.
set in your ways. And you know, some people are like that, but you just need to know, you know, in those type of relationships, whether you're going to continue to work on it or if it's just time to cut ties.
Yeah.
You know, I linked that back to like when the last session we had where, you know, it's been I, me, doing it so much on my own. A person's got comfortable in the routine and how they do things with their kids. And I think that when they have somebody else come in to play with helping them with their children, they so stuck in themselves or their routine, it makes it hard to want to hear or listen because you're normally used to what's worked for you. But now, once again, you have somebody else stepping in to help you change that I to a we. But
Okay.
I think that's my behind scenes hindsight looking back at it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Communication.
I feel like that was a great topic. I
Yeah, it was a
feel
good topic.
And guys, let us know, like, you know, how you feel about the topic. You can like, comment, and subscribe, please, to our YouTube channel. We're always here on Facebook. If you have any questions, just hit us with a message, and we'll be glad to go ahead and take a look at that and include it into maybe a next week's topic. But today we are now going to the Black Note of the Day, and I'm going to let my girl Keisha go ahead and drop some knowledge on you guys.
So for the Black Note of the Day, we have Otis Frank Boykin, born August 29th, 1920, Dallas, Texas. Passed away, unfortunately, March 26, 82 in Chicago, Illinois. But basically an American inventor, African-American inventor. It shows that he's patented over 27 electronic devices, but his one that brought him to fame was the device for the artificial cardiac pacemaker. It shows he invented a control unit for the artificial cardiac pacemaker. The device essentially uses electrical impulses to maintain a regular heartbeat. His inspiration for the invention is because his mom, Sarah, passed away of heart failure when he was a year old. So...
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He was one of our great inventors. He over here saving people's
Saving
hearts
lives.
and lives.
You know what? Everybody would just be dead without black people.
Yeah. This is why we are the Melanin University, because we over here dropping knowledge that you need us.
Oh my.
We are life.
Right.
Well, that is it, folks. Tune in on the next session of the Melanin University, and we will see you guys next time.
Peace out.